Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, we are going to be starting our November color along, and I am working in Hanna Karlzon's book because that's the person that won the vote from all of you wonderful people. And I decided the seasons would be a good one because it has tons of fall pictures. This month I decided to go with this one on this side here. I thought that this would be a fun, not too complicated one to do. I know that we all get busy around the holidays, so this might be something that we could, just hop on and get done. And I think it'll still be really cute. I really like the layout. I love that there's this glass element that we can play with a little bit, and lots of fun little fall theme stuff in there. So I want to talk just a little bit about this. So I decided on this one, that we are not going to do a great big background either. Hardly any background at all, actually. Because this side of the page is so busy and it would be like a full scene pretty much on this side, sometimes it's nice to have a page where your eye gets to rest. And this is going to be one of those pages for us, I think. So basically my background is just going to be maybe a little shadow underneath the plate here, and then inside the dome we'll have some little fun things going on. But yeah, so that is my plan for this today. So I'm going to put my backer page in. I'm going to zoom you guys in, and we are going to get started. Okay, so we're going to start with the gold section. So this part of I kind of like to think of this as like a cake plate with a little glass dome on top of it. So we're going to make this kind of an ornate, old gold kind of color. And today I am using Coloursoft pencils. I will list all of the colors in the description below, but I'll also kind of go over colors with you as I'm coloring with them. And, you don't have to have the Coloursoft ones to color with me. You just need similar type colors, and it should work for you just as well. So for my gold color, this is what I've got picked out so far. It may change because we always know that, I tend to add in colors or take out colors however it feels necessary, and these are all pre-picked, so I'm not sure exactly how these are going to work. But from my color chart, these ones seem to be the best option for what I would like. So I've got dark brown, ochre, and pale peach, and so I'm going to show you those there, and then we're going to start working on this part down here. Okay, so the Coloursoft are a good excuse me, a good layering pencil, actually. They do blend a little bit, but they're not, they're not as soft as Prismacolor, that's for sure. And they work better for me as a layering pencil. So that's kind of where we're gonna go from today. So I am gonna go ahead and start with my dark brown, my darkest color. And I'm going to put that in all of the areas that I think should be the darkest. So for example, all of these areas down here. So all of that in there is going to be in shadow. Then you're going to have some nice shadowy bits from this section. And then up here, a little bit would be in shadow too. Because basically how I see this is this piece, like these wing pieces, I guess, they kind of look like wings, are on top of this other piece that's underneath, and then there's a little ornate, little additions here and there. We might go through and add some sparkly gel pen at the end, but I am holding off on that right now because I do kind of want this to look like the old gold kind of feel. So I'm going to take each of these pieces, I'm going to go all the way across and add in the shadow color, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave this large section here untouched for now, and then I am going to add in my shadow along all of this part and then all of the base. I'm going to let you guys see that. I'll speed it up so you can see, but I will talk to you again in a second. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about creating the shadows on here. So a lot of the shadows that I've added in here are places where it's going to be darker naturally. But the other thing that you have to kind of take into account when you do metal is where your light is coming from. So if my light was heading straight on, it would actually be lighter through the center and then darker on the outsides. If I had two light sources coming from either side, I would have a darker section in the center and then lighter on the outsides. Mine is going to be kind of from this direction, if that makes sense. So to do this long piece right here, I am going to add in my shadow. I'm going to come out about that far. So that's maybe, I don't know, the length of your pencil tip. And then on this side's going to be more in shadow because, like I said, my light is coming from this direction. So I'm going to bring my shadow out a little farther, probably to about right there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So on these ones down here, you did probably see me, typically I would leave the highlight open in the center, but I'm going to bring it over just a little bit right here. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is, and I don't have my eraser currently, I am going to lighten up some of the shadows that I put in here. I still want some of them, but I want them to be a little bit lighter in this section right here because this is going to be kind of the lightest bit right in there. So, excuse me, so sorry. And then on the base here, I'm going to do the same thing where I bring the shadow over a little bit. And then farther on this side. And then for this section, I'm going to have it so that there's like a V shape right there where that light is going to kind of go. You can kind of see it. It's already created with the shadows. But so like this part back here is going to be darker. And then except for this little lip that's right close to the edge. So that part's going to be darker. And all of this is going to be darker. And you're going to want to leave a little bit of shadow around like that. Okay. Oh, I got to do the top part too. So let's talk through this as well. So this part is really just going to kind of be more like this stuff over here. So you're going to have a little bit of shadows down here, probably underneath that part. A little bit of shadow created here and here. We're going to go ahead and then I'm going to make the shadows a little bit longer on this side. Okay, and then add a little more shadow here. Just a little bit there. Okay. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to switch to my next lightest color. So this is a lighter brown. This one's actually just called brown. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to extend from where I've put the dark color and extend that color out into the sections and trying to maintain as much as I can of my highlight. That's the big key with the metals is you want to make sure that you have that highlight. So, okay, I'm going to do that with my brown and then I will speed that up so you guys can see that as well. Next color is my ochre color. So sorry. Okay. And then, yeah, so I'm just going to show you a little bit up here of kind of what it's going to look like. And then we'll go through the whole thing again. I probably won't show all of this part, but I'll show most of it. So I'm just coloring right over top of the browns I've put down. I'm not pushing hard. This is a light layer. And I am maintaining that highlight. So I'm just pretty much going right over top of the browns that I've put down and not too much into the white because I want to maintain that highlight. So that's kind of the look that we're going to get. And then I'm just going to do these last two sections. And then I have Pale Peach, and this is the one I'm going to use to kind of blend everything together a little bit. And then I'll probably come in with maybe my Prismacolor white or cream. I haven't decided which one of those yet. But I really like that. And then you can go back in and you can darken up your shadows too with your dark color again. Just in the areas that you know for sure are going to be darkest. You really want that contrast. Here's my Pale Peach. I'm so sorry. I have this annoying dry cough now, and it's just bugging me. Okay, I'm going to try it with my white, my Prismacolor white first. I do have a bigger one. I'm just trying to use up this baby one. Yeah, that'll work. I like that. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of the look that we're going to go for. So I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'll show you bits and pieces of this, but it's going to be the same kind of thing that we did up at the top there. So I'm going to go ahead and speed color this section, and then I will talk to you again here in a second when it's all done. Okay, so I am going to darken up the shadows a little bit more in a couple of spots with my black. And I'm just going to do a little bit here at the edge here, and then on this side as well. I'm just going to extend that black in a little bit. Same thing here. So I really want the shadows underneath here to be very defined, so that you can really tell that this area is a little more in shadow than the top part. So anywhere where things overlap is going to be dark, and then a little bit of darkness on this side of the pedestal. And then again, since the light is coming from this direction, the shadows on like these little raised bits are going to be darker on the right side of the image, or the lines, the right side of the lines. I'm going to go ahead and darken up those little bits in between there. So like on the sides of these little raised pieces, which I've decided they are raised. They don't have to be raised. And I decided this little area right here is a little bit raised. And then of course down here where everything comes back together is going to be more in shadow. And then on the side here, underneath that little ridge, underneath these little guys, Sorry if I was off screen there. Okay, and then right at the bottom of this part, again, you're going to have a little bit more shadow on this side. And then we're going to darken this up right here. And then a little bit on the edge of this part. So back here behind where the metal comes out from behind that part where they attach. I have put a little bit of pressure on this part, so you really have to pay attention to how much pressure you're adding, because these pencils, once you burnish them, they're that's kind of it. It's kind of hard to get any more color on top of them. So, okay. Yeah, I think the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to darken the shadows up underneath this lip and then underneath all of the little bits and pieces in there, and then I will be right back with you. All right, so we've got all the metal parts done. I think that turned out pretty good. Let me get situated here. I'm gonna get all my pencils back. Where they go? Okay, so I do have different colors picked out for each little section that needs to be done here. So I think what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna start with the lighter things that I know for sure is what I wanna color. So these mushrooms here are gonna be like a yellowy color. So I have a cream color, I have yellow ochre, I have deep cadmium, excuse me, and lichen green. So again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna use all these colors, but we'll see how it goes. So my first color, I think I really want these to be pretty yellow. So I'm gonna do a very light layer of this deep cadmium yellow. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing, I think, very lightly. Maybe I'll just work on this big one and then speed color the other two so you guys can see kind of how I'm envisioning these. Okay, so there is our yellow down. Now I'm going to take this yellow ochre, and anywhere where there would be shadows, I'm going to add this color. So you can kind of see she's added in these little dots right here, and I'm going to take that as a shadow. So I'm going to gently do small little circular motions and add in that color right in there. The same thing over here. And you don't want harsh lines, so you want to, like when you get to the edge, when you want to blend them together, you just lighten your pressure quite a bit. And you can kind of blend those a little bit. Definitely right underneath the lip of this mushroom, it's going to be darker. So I'm looking at this part kind of like, almost like hair. So where things overlap, and then when, because you can kind of see their wavy lines. So they're like, so anytime that the lines go, let's say they go to the right, that's going to be a highlight. Anytime they go to the left, that's going to be kind of a darker area, if that makes sense. And then sometimes they get a little convoluted in there, so you kind of have to just figure out how you want it to go. So you can see in there already. Okay, let's see. We've got a little bit to the left here. A bunch to the left right here. Right in here. And then, of course, where things overlap, you have to make it a little darker. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with my lichen green now. And this is just like it's like a brownish green color. It's a little bit of yellow thrown in there too, and this is just going to help us darken that color up a little bit in the shadows. I might have to come in with a darker color eventually anyway, but for now, that's gonna be my shadow color. Okay, I like the way that that's looking. And again, this is light layers. This is not heavy pressure. I'll do a little there. All right. Okay, let's see what happens when I use my cream. I'm going to try to blend that out a little bit with my cream. I do like the way that looks. That cream right over top of that cadmium yellow just makes a really pretty goldeny color. Light golden color. Okay, I am going to add in some yellow ochre again. I don't want to completely lose the shadows that I have in here. I would like it to blend pretty seamlessly though, if I can help it, or if I can make it. Okay, so yeah, I think that part up there is done. And then we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to kind of shade outwards. Yeah, I'm going to add just a little bit more of a darker color. So I'm going to try this brown and see if I can make that shadow just a little darker. The same up right under here. Oop, I probably should sharpen this a little bit. Give me a second. Okay, let's try that again. Because I want this shadow to be right against this edge. So you need to go in with a super sharp point. And make sure you're turning your pencil as you go. Okay, that's good. I'm going to shade outward a little bit from that with that lichen brown again. Just a tiny bit. And then again with my yellow ochre. Okay, all right, I like that. So I'm going to add in this brown in the darker bits. I think, I'm going to shade that out a little bit right here that I made. So that was the lichen, and now this is the golden, or the yellow ochre again. Just kind of reinforcing that yellowy color. Okay, so that's going to be kind of how they're going to look. So I'm going to do these other two on speed color for you guys, and I will talk to you again in a second. Okay, so the only other thing that I can think of that I might do is I'm going to add a little bit of shadow right to the lip of this mushroom. So I'm going to use my, what is this one? This lichen green color. And I'm just adding a small line of that right above where the line art is in a couple of areas. This kind of gives the illusion that this is rounded off. All right. Okay, I like those little guys. Those are cute. All right, so we are moving right along. The next one, the next section that I think that we'll work on is maybe these mushrooms, these other mushrooms. I think those ones are cute. And I pulled, what did I pull for those? I think it's these guys. I think this is it. So I think that I pulled the dark terracotta, ginger, peach, and cream. We're going to see how this goes. I know for sure that I want the base of this to be a little more peachy, just more peach for that area. I'm going to steal the brown. Okay. So I'm going to go in with, I think, a very light layer of the peach for the base of the mushroom. Yeah, that's the color I was looking for. So this is just a very light layer. You know what? I'm just going to work on this guy and then I'll show you how I do all of them. We'll do that speed colored. Okay, so now brown, I'm going to use for the shadows on this part. Very, very lightly because I don't want a ton of shadows on here. Okay, and then I'm going to go right over top of that again with the peach. Okay. And then I think I will go over all of it with the cream. I like this Derwent cream. This is a good color. Okay. Next, I'm going to do the mushroom tops. So I thought that I would try to use kind of an orangey brown combination. So we're going to see how this goes. So this is ginger. This is, I don't think I've ever used this color before. So we're going to see how this goes. And so my idea is that it's going to be a little bit lighter in here, and it's going to be, again, so this area is going to be lighter, and then it's going to be a little bit darker on the outsides. So my shadows and stuff are going to be on the outsides of my items. Even though I said the light was coming from this way, it's more coming like from here, if that makes sense. Okay, so this outside area is going to be a little darker, and then I'm going to lighten up as I move to the other side of the mushroom. So get pretty light over there. I'm going to go ahead and use this peach on this side of the mushroom just because I know that it is going to be lighter. Kind of maybe that'll act like a placeholder. Okay, so then I've got dark terracotta is the next color that I'm going to use. And this is more of a browny orange. And I'm going to use this one anywhere that there is, that those little dots are on this side for sure. And I might do just a tiny little bit. Yeah, just a little bit there. Okay. And you want to make sure, again, that you've got your lighter area section here, and then it's going to be darker as it moves away from that center section of the dome. So now I'm just going back in with the ginger. And I am going right over top of what I've colored already with the dark terracotta. And again, these are all light layers. This is nothing heavy. I do like the way that's looking though. Okay, and then for the little growths, I don't even know what those are called. I am going to add a little bit of a shadow to the edges of some of them. Like that. And then I'm going to color them in with the cream. Because I don't really want a lot of white in this. I want it to be definitely a more fall, very warm tone to the whole page. Okay. I might darken that up just a little bit. So let's see what we got here. So here's my Derwent color chart. I got all 72. I think that's how many are in there. And I need a little bit darker brown. So what do I have now? I had the dark terracotta, which is this color. Yeah, I guess I could just use the brown. And we'll see if that does what I'm looking for. Yeah, that helps. It's not quite as dark as I want, so maybe let's try this dark brown and see if that does the trick. This is just to add that, get that nice darker color on this side of the mushroom. Okay, and then I'm going to go over that again with the dark terracotta and see if that did what I was hoping it would do. Okay, so yeah, so there is our little mushroom. So that combination is going to be used on the rest of the mushrooms. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and speed color that so you guys can see. And then we will see where we're at on our time. Okay, so the one last little thing I have to do to the mushrooms is I need to add in some dark brown, maybe some black actually. I'm going to grab my black and give it a sharpen because of course, since I used it before, it's not as sharp as I would want it to be. Okay, I'm going to use my black and I am going to just add a little bit, there it is. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow to these dots on the mushrooms and shadow wherever, I'm going to use my brown for that one, shadow wherever it would be created too. So all of that is going to be in shadow right there. This whole section, which I did pretty good previously, but I want to make sure that it's nice and dark. That's all going to be shadowed. Okay. Yeah, and so I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow to these. And basically, it's not even shadow. It's just like adding line weight to one side of the dots. So that you kind of get that, like it looks like it's creating a shadow maybe. Hopefully that makes sense. And my black is getting a little crumbly. So you can kind of see it's not really like a shadow that spans outward from those little dots. It's just like a line right along the edge. And then this last one. These ones on the edge, you kind of just give a little bit. You don't go all the way around, but you still give them a little bit. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I think we did pretty good. We got the metal all done and these mushrooms done, and then next time we'll work on the rest of the plants inside and a little bit of the background. And I think that we'll be done. Yeah, so only 2 parts this month. Woo woo! Okay, so as always, if you guys are coloring along, please let me know. Tag me in any posts that you make on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram or send me an email. My email is elmcolors@gmail.com. And yeah, I would love to see. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.